Hey guys, I'm Clint Flair Woo and welcome to another Division build video. Today we're going to talk about Deadeye and we're going into detail about the build, why I've been using it and what it does. Firstly, this is a PvP build, it's not for PvE. I have used it in PvE and it's not too bad, but to get the most out of it, to get it to optimize it, to get the best use out of it, I'd use this in PvP. It's off meta, not many people use it. But it's highly effective if you build it right and if you play right. Let's have a look at it. Okay, I'm running 5-piece Deadeye with a Barrett's chest piece. I'll explain why later in the video, but I'll go through my weapons, rolls on the gear, and talents, and then we'll look at each individual set, see what we can come up with. Firstly, I'm using as my primary and then M700 carbon. It's fully optimized. The talents I'm using on the build are Deadly, which will increase my crit damage by 15%, and Prepared, which damage is increased by 15% when more than 30 meters from the target. Competent, weapon damage increased by 10% 15 seconds after using a skill. The mods on the weapons I'm using, let's have a look. Magazine with crit hit damage, rate of fire. My optics, which has 90% crit hit damage, stability and accuracy. A muzzle of crit hit damage, crit hit chance, which is irrelevant. Accuracy, increased threat. My underbarrel is crit hit damage, accuracy and reload speed. And my skin is a cocktail amber to go with my little headphones. Okay. My secondary is the house. And as you can probably see from the build set, my toughness is quite low, so I'm running the house with predatory because that will give me that little bit of sustain, that survivability, because my toughness, my overall stamina is quite low. So what I would do, obviously you generally kill an enemy with your house, you trigger predatory, then you'd switch back to your M700 carbon to do the most damage. But my talents on my house is Predatory, Deadly, and Card Counter. The mods I'm using, magazine size with crit damage, rate of fire. Optics are crit hit damage, headshot damage, crit chance. My muzzle is crit damage, crit chance, headshot damage. My underbarrel is crit hit damage, stability and accuracy. And the skin is a sponge yellow. Okay, Deadeye. What does it do? Right, we'll go through the pieces of Deadeye, explain why I'm using it. Set bonus 2 is initial bullet stability. My set bonus 3 is a marksman rifle crit hit damage of 20%. The set bonus 4 is when zoomed, marksman rifles lose headshot bonus but gain 50% critical strike chance when out of cover and 100% critical strike chance when in cover. So in a nutshell, if I'm in cover, I zoom in, I will have 100% critical hit chance. So every shot I hit, regardless of his head, shoulder, stomach, leg, foot, is crit hit damage. And it's a lot of it. Crit chance. So when you bake the build, you want to bake it into crit hit damage as opposed to crit hit chance, because it won't really affect the build. It doesn't do anything for the build whatsoever. So when you look at the talents on your weapons, when you look at talents on the build, forget crit chance, go crit hit damage. Okay. So bonus 5, I get more bullet stability and I get an extra 20% crit hit damage. Set bonus 6, which I don't use, I'll explain why shortly. When zoomed, getting a headshot kill with marksman rifle will increase crit damage by 20% every second to a maximum of 100% and increase stability by 100%. Lasts 10 seconds or until no longer zoomed. Extremely situational. I don't feel it's as top tier as Striker or Predator or the Nomad 6-piece. Again, situational, it's not something I would use. There are other pieces which are much more beneficial, and that's why I'm using a Barrett's chest piece. Okay, so that's Deadeye. That's what the build does. We'll look at the gear pieces. First piece is my Barrett's chest piece, which is stamina. And Barrett's, what it does, it's no skills and cooldown, increases skill power by 10%. So as you can see, my skill power is 95.964. That's because there is a bonus of 10% which is constantly applied because I've got no skills and cooldown. One skill cooldown increases damage by 5%. Two skills and cooldown increases armor by 10%. My major attributes are health and enemy armor damage. Minor is ammo capacity. The mods I'm running with stamina health and stamina health. My mask is enemy armor damage, which is baked into firearms, with the minor being damage to elites. The mod I'm using on my mask gets their stamina health. My knee pads, it's firearms with critical hit damage. The minors are blind, death resistance, bleed, and damage to elites. The mods I'm using for this, stamina health again, and pulse critical hit damage. My holster, it's baked into health. It's the major attribute. My performance mod is critical hit damage through pulse. My gloves, firearms again with marksman rifle damage maxed out, crit hit damage, and enemy armor damage. My backpack, I am running it's firearms with crit hit damage and ammo capacity. The mods I'm using are firearms health, pulse critical hit damage, and same again. Backpack skin is Bastille Areto. Okay, so that's the build. Why am I using Barrett's? Right, I will show you why I'm using Barrett's chest piece. So first I'll just get into cover. I will zoom. Here we go. So a crit hit, you're looking, it's 420,674. Okay. If I go to my menu, that's my firepower, that's my toughness. So what happens when I pop my pulse? Zoom in. 504,674. If I press start again, back into the inventory, you can see my firepower has jumped up 310,454. And my damage from the marksman rifle has jumped up as well. You see it differ now, go back down to how it was, and that's because Barrett's has been activated. Yeah, so when there's one skill and cooldown, it increases my damage by 5%. In a gunfight, this is crucial. This is key to get the guy down. It gives me that little bit of extra damage to hit someone hard. So if we do it again, just reload. Okay, let's try booster shot this time. And you can see there's a big jump. 533,356 critical hit damage. Okay, so we'll look at the stats. 347,000. And then again, Barrett's activated. One skill on cooldown increased my damage by 5%, plus the percentage from booster shot, which gives me that extra bit of toughness, extra bit of survivability, and it makes me hit harder. So what happens if I press both at the same time? Let's have a look. So we'll get pulse. So that's going to give me 483,279 as a crit hit shot. Just wait for booster shot to come back. Got that. 542,701. Back down to 533,356. You see that extra toughness, extra firepower, makes me hit harder, gives me more of a punch. This is a two-shot build on most players. Players that have baked into a lot of stamina, it's a free shot. As you can see, it does hit really hard. So how is my crit hit damage on the M700? Let's have a look. Crit chance, irrelevant, ignore it. It's not effective in the build. It's Deadeye, it's all about crit damage. My crit damage is 176%, which is very good, very strong. Headshot damage, don't worry about whatsoever. And the 12% from the marksman rifle bonus. My damage to elites is 28%. My enemy armor damage is 22%. It's also very strong. Skill power base is 87 because I've got the extra 10% from Barrett's. Makes it 95,964. No skill haste. Armor 32.24. And there's my little minor attributes. I'm using Pulse, which gives me 8% crit chance. Irrelevant, don't need it. Obviously it's useful on my house as my secondary, but as for my primary M700 carbon, it's not needed at all. And what I do need is a 16% crit hit damage, which gives me an extra bit of punch when I pop Pulse. So I use Pulse. My booster shot, here we go. Both have a cooldown of about 50.50 seconds. Okay, boost shot again, extra bit of toughness, makes me hit harder as well. So I could use a support station if again, it's very situational. Personally, I prefer the damage, but some people do prefer the support station to stay alive longer. For me, and the way I run this build, it's a damage build. Very good in a 4-man team as well, because you can pop a lot of damage if you've got a reclaimer or a tactician who's going to keep you alive. It's quite devastating. So that's what I use. The talents I'm using Adrenaline. Medkit now gives you 7 seconds of immunity from status effects. So Predator's still rife in the DZ, given the nerf still. It's still active, it's still going. People have just retuned it and reworked it. So I use Medkit to just remove any immunity for 7 seconds. My second one is Critical Save. Again, it's top tier talent to use. Using Medkit during low health to increase damage resistance by 20% for 10 seconds. Tactical Advance. Now, what you would do with this, you would do a cover to cover move and increase your weapon damage by 2% per meter covered for 5 seconds. I've got a bit of a clip in the video where I utilise this, where I do a little bit of cover to cover movement. I go rogue and I take this guy down in 2 shots. He's doing about 191k crit hit damage from 1 shot. Take a look in the video, you'll see. So I can get a maximum of 30% weapon damage extra, which is fantastic. And the next one I'm using is Precision. And again, headshot apostle will give them pulse. Obviously, you don't do extra damage from the headshot, but you get a pulse base one for 10 seconds, which is good for that little bit of extra damage. Okay, and that's my Deadeye build. Any feedback, please drop it in the comments below. I hope you enjoy the gameplay, I hope you enjoy the video, and continue watching, subscribing, liking for more content. Thank you very much.
Disavowing the vision, this action will mark you as rogue. The remaining supply drops expire. 30 seconds.